Hello friends, today I am going to discuss with you how to create the logical relational diagram using Oracle SQL Developer Data Modeler. So what do you need for this tutorial? You need Oracle SQL Developer Data Modeler 4.1.1. So just Google this software. You will be first link you will get is of Oracle. Just open that link, go to the download section and then accept the license agreement, and there are plenty of options you can download. So the preferred one is you can download the software which has the JDK included, or you can download any one of these as per your own system configuration, whether it's 64-bit or 32-bit. So once you have downloaded that, you will see something software or folder like that. Just unzip that and create a shortcut path to this data modeler.exe. So once you have done that, the first time you will open up your screen, you will see something like this window. So what we're going to do firstly is we're going to do a top-down approach, or what we say as a forward engineering. In forward engineering, you firstly create the logical model based on your ER model, and then you go to the relational model, and then further you go to the physical model. But in the reverse engineering, you just connect to your database and you just import your relational model first, and then you can make some changes and then go to the logical model. So in this particular tutorial we are going to use the forward engineering approach. So just click on right click on logical model and click on show. You will see some empty screen. So for this tutorial I am going to show you some of the relationship which I have created in Visio. The first such relationship, this is first such ER diagram is this of customer, account and transaction, and as well as I'm going to show you how to create the subtypes and supertypes. So account has two subtypes, that's checking and savings. So I'm going to show you how to create the subtypes, supertypes, as well as one-to-many and many-to-one relationship. So I'm also going to show you how to do many-to-many relationship in this data modeler tool. So firstly start with this one, that a customer can have multiple accounts, and account should have at least one customer. Okay, the first thing we need to create in data modeler is we need to create the entities. So just go up, you will see one new entity option or button. You just click there and just click in the designer section. So automatically one menu will pop up. Just give some name to that. So this is going to be my customer entity. So I will go there, add some name, give some name to the entity, then go to the attributes. My first attribute is going to be customer ID. As of now, for the initial stage, I will keep the data types as unknown because I am yet to create the data dictionary. So firstly I will keep that as such, as unknown, then name, and then address, phone number, date of birth, okay, so username and password I'm not going to create. So once I have done that, I will just click on apply and OK. So by default this notation may be something different, so if I need to change that on notation, I will right click on the designer section and go to the notation, and here I will select information engineering notation. Now I need to create the domains. Domains are particularly useful like when you have some entities, data types which are going to be reused across various entities. So instead of creating those entity data types one by one. You will just create it once in the domains. So I've already created some of the entities, some of the domains here. So just give you how to create. I'll just show you how to create one domain. Just click on add. For example, create some domain. Let's say identifier. I can create something date of birth. So I give some logical name to it. So it's gonna be date. So I give some size, maybe 10 size. Okay. So click on apply. So once I've created some of few of the domains here, I will just click on save and close. So now it's time to reuse those domains which I have created earlier. So just go to the customer and I will specify the domains here. Just click on the, if you go to the data type section, they will see something called domain. Just select this option and go to the source type. So this domain customer ID is going to be my primarily identifier. So I will select the identifier domain which I have already created. So, and this customer ID is going to be my unique identifier as well. So I will check this option. If you see, when you check this option, you will see that a mandatory option gets automatically checked and it's get disabled because this is your primary key and it is mandatory to have that. Similarly, for name, I will select the domain as name. Address, I have already created some of the domains. Like, you need not necessarily create domains for every data types. You need only to create those domains for which it's going to be repetitive, or for which you think this is going to be reused across various entities. So this domain and this name and address is something which will be common for every entity. So date of birth, I will select the DOB domain which I recently created. Let's say if you have something which is going to be used only for this particular entity, let's say username maybe. So instead of selecting the domain, you can just select the logical type, because this data type has its scope limited to this particular entity only. We'll select something called varchar, something 30. So similarly, I will create another entity. This time is going to be accounts. Give some name to it and ID. Again, this is going to be my identifier, so I will select the domain as identifier. Then I will just select few of these columns. I need not create all of them. So I'm going to pause the video to create all of these entities. So I've already created all those entities which I'm going to use in this ER diagram. So my primarily distributing thing, that data type is account type, which is going to be my distinguished factor for various types of account. Like some accounts can be of savings and another one can be of checkings. So I have specified its data type as character of 1. Like for S it will be savings, and for C it will be checking account. So once I have done that, now it's time to create some relationship between them. So this customer and account will have some relationship. Like a customer can have multiple accounts, maybe like checking or savings. At the same time, one account can have only one particular customer. Okay, so we're going to create one-to-one relationship. So in one-to-one relationship, there are two types of one-to-one relationship. First one is non-identifying, and second one is identifying. In identifying relationship, you will once you create your parent and child relationship, in your child you will have two primary keys. One will be of your parent, another one will be of your child. Whereas if you create a non-identifying relationship, you will have only one primary key, that is your original child key, and your parent key will be a foreign key to your child table. We're gonna see actually a demo of that. So let's assume, like in this particular scenario, I'm going to create one to n non-identifying relationship first. So we'll click on this option and then click on the parent and then click on the accounts tab. Sorry, in this particular case, account can have only one customer and the customer can have multiple accounts. So in this particular case, the customer is going to be my parent entity. So I'll click on parent entity first, then on child entity. So one relationship menu will pop up. I will give some name to it, customer accounts. Or on this side I will give some name as belongs to. So apart from defining the cardinality, I can also define which one is optional, and I will see that on the source side it is optional, and on the target side it is not optional. So my requirement is that a customer is necessarily has to have it's not necessary to have a customer to an account number, but account number should have, if there is an account exists, it should belong to one customer. So I will uncheck that source as optional, and I will just check that target as optional. This is why I have done that. So I'm just assuming, like you can assume your own case, but I'm this particular scenario, I'm just assuming that this account should have the source, should have a customer, but the customer may not have any account. We click on OK and apply. So one relationship will be created like that. If you see, you cannot see any labels there. You just right click and show and click on labels to show whatever the relationship you have created. Now you see there is one circle mark here, so it just shows the optional one. And one important thing you will notice here is that since you have created a non-identifying relationship, so your customer ID, which is the primary key of your customer table, that is your parent table, becomes a foreign key in non-identifying relationship. You can just recognize this is non-identifying because this line is dotted line, it's not a solid line. So now let's assume we'll create one another relationship, and let's say you this time you create identifying relationship. So it is quite similar, but if you just hover your mouse, it will say that it is identifying. Just give some name again. So just select as such, click on OK and apply. So if you just see this time it will be a solid line, and if you see, the customer ID actually becomes the primary key also of the accounts table. So essentially in your accounts table you have a composite primary key. One is your account ID and your customer ID. So again, it depends upon your requirement, whether your account ID or whether your primary key of your child table is sufficient enough to identify the records, then you don't need identifying relationship. So in our case, account ID is sufficient, so I don't need extra primary key. So customer ID as a foreign key is fine with me. So we'll just delete this relationship and create non-identifying relationship. So now I just make both of them as unchecked at optional, because I changed my scenario that a customer should have definitely have an account, because if he is belonging to a bank and account, at the same time should have at least one customer. So this is how you will create one single relationship, one to n relationship. You can just change the notation as well to information engineering or barter notation. So once you have created that relationship, now I'm going to show you how to create the subtypes and supertypes. For this I create some more entities. So this time it will be checking account. I will give some name, some attributes to this. So my checking account is going to hold an overdraft amount and checking balance. This is going to be something I will create as a logical, as some numeric. So it's going to be 6, 2. Then another one I'm going to create is checking balance. So this is essentially going to be same. I'm not creating that. So now we'll create another entity called savings account. So one particular feature which is applicable only to savings is the interest rate, because bank gives interest rate only on savings account. So I mention here interest rate. It's going to be 2, 2. You can apply. So I have these two subtypes created. Now I'm going to link them as with accounts as the super type. So how I'm going to do that, just click on this accounts type and go to the subtypes. Here you select the subtypes which is going to be. So the most important thing here is the subtree generation. In this case, if you want your parent as well as your child tables to be a part of your model, so you will select table for each entity. So references, rest you keep else all of this, and if you want only your primary attributes to be inherited to the subtypes, you just select this one. And if you have some discriminator, like in our case we have the account type, we'll select this as account type as discriminator. So also we need to check that this is going to be a complete subtypes, like it's a total everything, like account can be either of savings or checking. There is no any third option, so I will check this as complete subtypes. Find this property, I will just click on OK and apply. So now for this time to be act as a subtype, so I will go to the general tab, and here I will select the super type as accounts. You will see one line automatically which is pointing to the accounts as a super type. So I'm going to repeat the same process for the savings account. So I'm just going to rearrange these arrows. So this is how we create subtypes and supertypes. Now the last one is I want to show you is multiple relationship, like end-to-end relationship. For this I have one diagram like student and courses. Multiple students can enroll in multiple courses at the same time. Multiple one course can have multiple students. Entities for both of them, student and courses. So I'm just going to pause the video and come back to you. So I've created both of these entities, students and courses, and I have populated them with necessary attributes. Now I'm going to create the multiple end-to-end relationships. In fact, only one relationship, M to N. So I'm just going to click here, drag and drop from the student from the parent table to the child table. I'm going to name this relationship as students courses, the source key as student primary keys as well as target key. Give some names to this relationship, name on source, name on target. So I'm going to make both of these as well as source as well as target. I'm going to uncheck that as it is mandatory to have course should have a one student. At the same time, if a student is a student, he or she needs to register for a course. I'm going to click on apply. As well as I want to create one attribute for this relationship as a registration ID. So this will gonna be a associative entity with one its own attribute as registration ID. This is going to be logical with identifier with integer data type. Okay, so I'm going to make it as mandatory one. Click on apply. You will see now my logical diagram is complete. I will save it in desktop, maybe here. I will name it as library one. So once I've saved it, now I'm going to convert this logical one into a relational model. So I'm going to go to this relational one. You see it will be empty. I'm just going to open the subtree. So I'm going to name this thing as library as relational. This relational model is more aligned to the kind of database you define. So as of now I have defined as Oracle 11G because my data types will be populated according to the type of database I define here. So now I'm going to convert this logical model into a relational model. For this I will go to the logical model I created and right click on the logical model and I will click on engineer to relational model. So by default I will select all the options here. I want everything, so just click on engineer. It will automatically create a relationship or relational model for me. You see this has been defined under kind of U curve. So this shows that checking and savings account are going to be subtypes of accounts, and for student and courses, since we have multiple end-to-end relationship, so it has created one associative entity here. And okay, you see this is the student courses which has been associative entity which has been created automatically when you create a end-to-end relationship. So it has got the primary keys of both of the student as well as courses as well as its own entity called registration ID. So your relational design is also done. Now the last step which you need to do is create a physical model. So for this you can click on file, go to export and create a DDL file. So by default you will select all options, so just click on generate. Okay, so it's a DDL file which is going to generate for all the relationship which you have created. So this is the beauty of this data modeler tool. So you're going to save this to some directory. This is the DDL. You can also export in your SQL SQL Developer, or you can just with your database admin to create those tables. Apart from that, you can just export this model to PDF file as well. So just go to the print diagram and go to the PDF file. So just print out, so in case if you just want to do some settings or some configuration, or just to make sure that everything is in one image, you can do that using go to the print and then configure it. You can just click on zoom. You can just reduce the page and you can just zoom out something. So this way everything gets fits into one page. At the same time you can increase the zoom and print to PDF. Let's save it on the desktop. So my device is not attached, or so this is going to be create some error. So do your own configuration and you will see something of PDF. So once you have done that, your logical as well as relationship design is complete. Thank you for watching the video. If you like this video, just press on like and subscribe to my channel.